Hello, everyone. Could I get your attention, please? Thank you so much. Shachpachwai, oh, Shachpachwai, Kwatlanam Wianawe, Ikna Shwaniksha, Timnai Kaihuit. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My given name is Winona George. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a student lead here at Wethlable Intellectual House this academic year. And just to give you a nice welcome and background on this facility, so this space has been a 40-year-old dream since the 1970s, and after some advocacy efforts and voices heard, we see it come to life in 2015. Finally, a space that feels like home for myself and others, a space that acknowledges Native presence on campus, where we not only just gather here, we continue to empower each other through sharing of cultural knowledge and teachings. It can be seen as the sharing of songs, stories in our respective languages, because we are also intertribal students, staff, faculty around on campus. We teach each other how to weave baskets, do beading, everything. Sew ribbon skirts, I can go on and on, because it's new students come every single year. They have these ideas. They want to share their own culture, where they came from. I am from the Yakama Nation. People who don't know where that is south of Washington State. And some facts about this space. So this is a contemporary Coast Salish styled longhouse. To my left and right, you'll see these welcome figures. Their hands are out. This means welcome to the home. Traditionally, they would be 3D posts on ocean shores, welcoming canoes, but to have some of that representation in our longhouse, we have them here. It was designed by Andrea Wilbur-Sigo, who is Squaxin. So during the year, we host many cultural events and workshops, which is open to the entire UW community, as well as tribal communities. So every year we have Taking Back the Dinner, coastal jams, and even tomorrow we have an MMIWP event, which is a Missing Murdered Indigenous Women and Persons event, is to continue to raise awareness, and it will be followed by a round dance. Everyone is welcomed, and I invite you all to attend. So this space connects people and brings joy to the UW campus, such as this event today. It is important, and I can say that for myself, it has contributed to my academic success. I will be graduating this June with a bachelor's. Thank you. I will be graduating this June with a bachelor's in social work, and this space just makes me feel like it's my home away from home, and I know that my voice can be heard. Thank you so much.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. What a great crowd. This is so fantastic. Thank you all for being here. It's wonderful. I want to provide our own land acknowledgement as well. The University of Washington acknowledges the Coast Salish people of this land, the land which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. Through this acknowledgement, we recognize and respect the sovereignty of these nations and the people who are thriving today. Thank you, Winona, for making this such a special place for us this afternoon. So welcome to our spring shop talk, and I guess I should say welcome to spring. I know I'm so thrilled, of course, Melissa and her genius, yet again, giving us some outdoor time for our reception. It's just wonderful, so this is a great day to be together. We have a great program for you today, starting with a conversation with our new provost. You must not feel so new anymore, she's been here. Our provost and executive vice president, Tricia Serio. But first, I want to welcome all of our new staff to Advancement. So can you please stand if you are new to Advancement? Just stand up so we can see you. And we want to give you a warm Advancement welcome. This is our twice annual shop talk. Ooh, am I booming in this? Are we good? Okay. For those of you who are new, we welcome you. We are thrilled you are with us. We know you are going to do amazing things as part of the University of Washington community and our Advancement community. I can't wait to meet each of you individually, but please introduce yourself. We're a social bunch, as you can see. Introduce yourself, and again, a warm, warm welcome to you. So spring is a time of renewal, and it's a time of community celebrations, it's a time of activism, it's a time of finishing out projects and plans, it's a time of planning for the future. It's a wonderful, difficult, joyful time of year, and no one knows that better at this point than our new provost. Who has defined herself, I will say, very early in her tenure here as an exceptional leader, an incredible partner to our president, Anna Marie Kelsey. I have witnessed firsthand, particularly over these last few months and weeks, just the incredible empathy and diligence and kindness and really a deep, deep understanding of how to have authentic relationships in our community. I was at dinner with Tricia last night, and Anna Marie was meeting with some of we were at a round table discussion with our donors at Hillcrest, and while we were navigating, they were navigating, I should say, I was trying to just be present and with them, navigating conditions on campus, there they were graciously hosting, honestly describing how they were managing and leading and how the campus was working through this time in really amazing ways. So I just want to say how grateful I am to you, Tricia, as you join us here today. I'm now going to give her a formal introduction, but we really do have a special leader in our midst, and I'm so bullish on the future with Tricia Serio. So Tricia, our Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. She's a biochemist. She holds a faculty appointment in the UW, in the School of Medicine's Department of Biochemistry. Secret, she does have a lab that she goes to some Friday afternoons, which keeps her grounded, and she looks forward to those days, I think, more and more. And as the UW's academic and budget officer, she is focusing her leadership on core areas to advance the university's academic mission. More on that in a minute. She came to the UW from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, where she was provost and senior vice chancellor for academic affairs. And prior to that, she was associate chancellor for strategic academic planning and dean of the College of Natural Sciences. She has also held research and professional positions at the University of Arizona, Brown University, and at Yale University. At UMass, Dr. Serio launched and led initiatives to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging for faculty and staff and students. She promoted faculty scholarship and creative activity that focused on sustainability, healthy aging, and society and technology, inclusive excellence, data science, and mid-career research support. She's a first-generation college graduate, which informs her thinking and her decision-making in really profound ways, which we'll probably talk about here in a little bit. She earned her bachelor's degree in molecular biology at Lehigh University and her master's and PhD in molecular biophysics and biochemistry at Yale. Isn't that awesome? Wahoo! So why did we invite the provost to our advancement shop talk? Well, she's second in command at the University of Washington. She's big stuff here. There's no question about it. But this is the thing. And as I mentioned, as an advancement colleague, she has the strategic foresight and opportunity to help us chart our course as an institution, yes, and also as we enter our next campaign. In my years in higher education, and I've had a few, at different institutions, I've learned that the provost's job is the hardest job in the university. And I say that with incredible respect for every provost I've ever worked with in this position. It's the place where everybody comes to you with their complex problems in the system, their budget, their HR issues, their management issues, all the deans and faculty, and they expect the provost to have all the answers and manage it and prioritize the resources to their department. So Jerry Baldesty used to say Anna Marie would go around and say yes, and he'd run around and say no behind her. That was his role, which in some ways Tricia's probably doing a bit of too. But what I found remarkably refreshing about Tricia is how she also comes with a strong, strong sense of what is possible. And that is so hard to do when you're in a job, when you see every day all the complexities and you're mired in it in the system. But you also have to say, what does the future look like? What's possible at our institution? And most importantly, as I listen to Tricia, what is best for our students? She is incredibly student-centered, my advancement colleagues. And she's always the first to point out how we are prioritizing students and their development in every conversation. She's a great advancement officer. She's been bringing valuable experience and perspective from her own experiences with advancement in the past. And she has a vision for transformational impact that is driving the creation of university initiatives and how we're thinking about the campaign in these larger frames. And as we talked about in our last shop talk, when the brilliant Lisa Thomas got up and mapped this out for us, about how we can shape the campaign for the future in ways that are even more profound than we've done in the past, both at the unit and university level. So her inspiration and expertise are exactly what we need at this moment, and we're looking forward to hearing from her today about why she's here, who she is, and I get to ask her questions, so this will be fun. Come on up, Tricia. Okay. Is your mic on? Are we good?
Is it on? Yes, can you hear me?
All right.
I thought you invited me here because you felt bad for me and you wanted me to get out of my office.
That's
but
a good subtext.
Yes, I enjoyed the walk over. It's beautiful out.
So, my first question for Tricia is, what does a provost actually do?
Wow, these days? So I have the immense honor of being the lead for both academic affairs and the budget at the university. And so what that means is everything related to academics, our academic programs, all the degree programs, student success, enrollment, financial aid, the graduate school, so for both undergraduates and graduate students, faculty, hiring, retention, development, promotion and tenure, anything related to academics, I'm the lead for that. And then have the added fun of being the lead on the budget. So aligning the resources of the university with the core of its mission. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. Research, the Office of Research and Global Affairs as well. So aligning the resources of the university with our research, teaching, and service missions.
So,
So the
before I
days
go
are
on,
long.
are we getting solid from Tricia? Is her mic
Yeah.
working? So?
It's going in and out.
Sorry? It was going in and out. In and out a bit? Are we good now? Should I keep going?
Do you
Solid?
want me to talk so you can check? How's that? Can you hear me now? No? It just went out again, I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep
keep
going.
going.
Okay.
Can you hear me in the back? Hello? Were you out and able to walk around today? There's lots of activity at different parts of campus. Before I left to come over here, I got instructions on which way to walk here today. Better? No, I'm out again.
I wonder if I switch. Should I switch? Because my questions aren't as important as Tricia's answers.
Still can't hear me. Well,
Okay, all right. Here comes
Handheld.
Melissa. I think yep, there you
Okay.
go. When in doubt, go with the handheld.
Yeah. I'm going to shut this one off then, okay? No? They'll do it. Okay. Thank you. All right. How about this? Can you hear
Good?
me now?
In the
Yeah?
back?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so you heard, her job is small, and
Nothing to do.
so Tricia, take a nice breath. It's a time, but how do you describe your priorities in the year ahead? You've got a year behind you now, so what do you see in the future, and what are your priorities?
Yeah, I think, I've been here about 8 months, not quite a year. And it's just been a whirlwind of amazing things. We tend to talk about the things that are hard, but they're just little dots in this ocean of amazing and wonderful things that have happened over the past year. And I think I would, center my priorities around how to pull together the different parts of the university so that we are telling our story in a way that makes it clear to everyone outside the university and to our students and our faculty that we are all rowing in the same direction, that we have tremendous force for good in the world. I think there's, one of, the superpowers of the University of Washington is that we have this incredible depth of excellence all across the academic space. And we tend to just think about that in isolation of one another, of each of the units. And so I think pulling everyone together around these common themes about what are the grand challenges in our world today? How can we better serve our students so that they can contribute to the world in ways that are unique to them? I think of my role as provost as really being an advocate for everyone at the university, facilitating the things that they're passionate about and what they're trying to do, because that's really what makes this university great. It's people following their passions and having an impact in the world, and then breaking down any barriers that are in the way to making connections across people. So I think my big priorities are pulling people together around grand challenges and the success of our students and access to our academic programs.
Great, great. So the transformational impact and these big ideas. Can you talk a little bit about the four that have sort of been identified in our process there and your thoughts about transformational impact?
Yeah, so through conversations with the deans and the vice provosts, and this was work that began before I came, and I want to really highlight the work of Anamari, of charging the deans and really focusing on what we can do together. And Renee Chang, who's dean of the College of Built Environments, who's really taken the lead on organizing this work. Four really big themes have emerged for us as places where, independent of discipline, we feel we can contribute, and that at that intersection of our expertise, we can really think about doing something that no one has done before. These are youth mental health, climate adaptation and resilience, democracy, really big thing right now. All of these things are. And the equitable use of technology, and specifically AI. And those are four areas that we're working on. I think that with any interdisciplinary initiative, and this comes, I think, from my training as a scientist as well, there needs to be some time to think about how to talk to one another, right? All of you are expert communicators. You tell the story of this university in different ways to different groups of people. And that's what, these deans and faculty and members in the community have to spend that time together to find that shared language. So we've been convening groups of people to talk in each of these areas together and to try to surface where we can uniquely have an impact as the University of Washington. These four things that I've mentioned to you, probably none of those are a surprise to you, right? These are on everyone's mind. Most universities in the country are focused on similar goals or overlapping goals. But I think we have something unique here at the University of Washington in each of those areas. And so the conversations where we've been convening, and I really want to thank Lisa and Kelsey and Mary and all of the advancement team for helping to work through those things, those sessions and organize us, is how do we tell the story of where we can have the unique impact? And those conversations have just been amazing and inspiring, and really focused not on the University of Washington, but as the University of Washington as a partner with the world. It's just been really fun for me to be in those conversations.
As I said, great partner. Yes, okay. So, Tricia, can you tell a little bit about your journey to higher ed? I think it centers you so squarely with students, and I think sort of talking about how you've arrived, and also more for this team about why you put students so clearly at the center of the experience.
Sure. So I grew up in New Jersey, in a really big and very loud Italian-American family. I have about 30 first cousins, and they all lived within about 5 miles of me. So that's the kind of upbringing that I had. And my dad didn't finish high school, and there was really no, maybe beyond him, no expectation that I would go to college. In fact, I would even argue that my mom was actively working against that idea. My dad is my hero and my biggest champion, and always supported me throughout my whole life, particularly in school. He just saw that as something that he always regretted in his life, that he wasn't able. He was one of 7. They really didn't have anything. He just couldn't stay in school, and he wanted something different for us. So I was actually the first in my family to go to college. And it was really probably harder on my dad than a very traditional background. The idea that I was a woman, that I would be leaving home, that I wasn't married, that I didn't have kids until they thought I was really old. Those were all really hard things for my family. And I've always seen this as a gift, an incredible gift. It was hard for my family, for me to go to college financially. It was hard for them to let me go emotionally to college. And when I got there, it just opened up this world to me that I never knew existed. And I found out that I really liked biochemistry. And I know that sounds really weird, but it was just like, I didn't even know it existed. And when I got to college, I just absolutely fell in love with it. The idea, the puzzle of trying to figure out how life works and then ask questions to figure out something new, it was just a passion that I didn't even know that I had. And so as I continued into graduate school and postdoc, and then eventually became a faculty member, it became something so important to me to pay that gift forward, right? This is a life that, Tricia in Belleville, New Jersey didn't even know existed. Provost, what is a provost? I have no idea. And so that's been really important to me all throughout my career to find ways to help break down barriers for other people so that they can really do things that maybe they don't even know exist yet, to create those opportunities for folks to thrive. So that's been really central for me.
How would you like this team to think about the context of that for our students today? How does that inform your decision making and what you think about when you put that in today's, the dynamics of today?
Yeah, I think, for me, the world is very different now from when I was at this age. And the pressures they're under are different than the pressures that I was under. And I think we really need to listen to students when they're telling us what they need and where they're struggling and how we can help them. they're passionate and they're frustrating, and they have really big ideas about how to make this world better. And they are our future, and I think we really need to lean into that and help them get from here to where they're going to be the people that make this world a better place. What I would really ask of all of you is to tell their stories, to make it clear how they are going to make a difference. Higher ed's got a really bad reputation right now. I'm sure you're looking at the news as I am. I mean, we're living the news on our own campus. And it's being told in a way that is incredibly negative. I can tell you I was here a lot over the weekend, as you might imagine. And on Saturday morning, I was standing on Red Square waiting for Ed Taylor to come so that he and I could do our daily walk through the encampment. And as I was standing on Red Square, there was some kind of a dance party going on by Kane Hall. There was a bride and groom on the steps of Suzzalo. There was a guy, like, fully dressed up, practicing his lightsaber moves. And then, like, a group of people ran through. There was some kind of running race going through Red Square. And 50 yards away was this encampment. And I thought, this is what college is all about, right? You figure out how to find your way in the world by being exposed to people doing all kinds of different things, right? That's what the world is about. If we were all the same, if we all thought the same thing, what a boring world this would be, right? It's where we push each other to think differently and interact with one another that we can really make change. And that's what we're seeing playing out on the campus right now, every day. It's not specific to this day and time. It's just more visible, maybe. And we need to embrace that as something that's absolutely essential for our world.
So Tricia, talk about how a strong partnership with this team and our academic leaders, how does that propel both what you were just describing, but also just our university forward, and what can we do to strengthen our partnerships with the academy as we work to support the university?
I don't know. It's something, yeah. So partnership to me is the exact right word, and many of you that I've worked with in this room have heard me say this. We each bring something different to the table that helps to tell the story of this university, right? The deans, faculty, students bring their expertise and their vision for the future. You help us to engage with people who want to support that work that happens at this university. And I think, again, this is a place where I think that intersection of how do we learn to talk the same language, right, so that we are rowing in the same direction. So I think the big ask that I have of you, as I do with the deans, is spending that time together, deep in conversation, so that we can understand how we can maximize the talent on this campus to make those partnerships that open doors for new opportunities. I mean, I really think about universities as creating opportunities that we then convert into impact, right? And that, for me, is about opening doors for people, whether it's faculty, staff, or students. And our external supporters are key partners to that, right? They expand that horizon of opportunities for people. They push us to think in new ways, but that can only happen through this interface that you facilitate for the campus, right? You make those connections that have us have these conversations in different ways that we would have never thought about before. So you're the catalyst, and I think the big thing we need to do is just to be in conversation about how to unleash that power.
So Tricia, in a few words when you're out in community. What sort of, and you have marketing communications colleagues, you have fundraisers, you have folks who are in our operations team where we're doing that back end work to keep this entire team productive. You have the alumni and stakeholder engagement team. So in many ways, in all ways, this team is out constantly. They are the ambassadors for the university, in community, with community, behind the scenes, making this happen as we do the catalytic work that you just described. So when you're out in community, how do you describe the University of Washington, and how would you tell us, how can we be our best selves as ambassadors?
I think for me, it's really about that idea of converting opportunity into impact. I think every university in the country has the same mission, right? Research, teaching, service. But what makes each university unique are the individuals that inhabit these spaces, right? In this moment in history, is the only time this group of people will be together. And that's true for the whole campus, right? And so that I always look at as a unique opportunity to change the world, because what happens is when people talk to each other, you push each other to see the world in a different way, right? I think when I think about my work in the lab, you mentioned that before, there are things that I've been thinking about for literally decades. And I'll be in the lab still, like, I have no idea what's going on here. And there'll be a new student in the lab, and they may have an idea, or they may just ask a question in a different way, and it makes me think about something in a way that I've never thought about before, and then suddenly there's clarity, right? That's what community does, and so that's what I'd love you to tell the story about, that this is about a place where people come together to do the amazing work that would never happen if we weren't all in the same place at the same time.
Okay, I'm going to give Tricia one final moment to share anything else you'd like to share with our team. And then, wow, this has been amazing. So grateful.
I'd really love to ask the question about what can I do to help you in your work? What do you need from me? Because the partnership goes both ways.
This is your chance, people.
No budget question.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question on behalf of I'm going to answer this on behalf of the team, and then if anybody wants to shout something out, we're happy to do it that way. We can be casual here. Tricia, I think what you can do is what you just did, is be clear with us about what you see for possibility for the university, and share it often, and bring that buoyancy to our academic partners so we can be our catalytic best. I also think Tricia can guide the deans and our academic leaders toward the work that we do in advancement and help them understand it deeply so that they know we are the catalytic partners. They trust us in the roles that we have here. They trust us with our deep expertise that every single person in this room has in this work. So that's another strong, and Tricia, I'm not saying anything she doesn't know, by the way. She would say she's already doing this, so this is, I'm giving her easy stuff here. And then to understand that her engagement, when she's visible in our arenas, when she's out in various components of our work, makes a big difference with our donors and our community, because they see our provost when they meet, and especially when they understand what she does. When they see her in community, they really get a sense of how important the work is that we do. Would anyone add? What would you add to this, team? You can shout it out.
That's great, thank you. A lot of the ways that I think about this work, and I'll ask you about this as well, is I don't want to have a conversation about why not. I want to know how. And so that's what I'd like us all to do together.
Those of you who know me well know I just wanted to sing right then. Yes, absolutely. That's one of the things I love about Tricia. Okay, can we please thank Tricia Serio for being with us? That was really. Okay, is this on? Oh. I have 7 microphones to work with. Okay, here we go. I can use this. Okay, I just have brief comments before we get to the fun part of our afternoon, our Star Awards and the Marilyn Bat Dunn Award. I know we're all looking forward to that, and I'm a mere, spot in the middle here. But I want to pick up on a thread that Tricia shared with us about students being at the center. I'd just like to probe some thoughts with you and to basically leave them with you to think about as we're forming ideas around the student experience as we walk toward the next campaign. Let's be bold. I think I said that in when I was up here recently at our last shop talk, and I'd just like you to think about this a bit. So our leadership have been thinking seriously about this for some time, as Tricia said, and Tricia's brought a new focus here. And as the campaign is shaped, we need to think about it too, and think about how we can really organize ourselves in our next campaign. As all of you we're doing walkarounds with all the units currently. Tamara and Lisa and I are doing this, and of course there's additional conversations going on, of course, around campaign priorities and visioning within the units, and then as Tricia was noting, the transformational and larger frames for the university. So I'd like us just to think about, and of course, and with university leadership here and many of our colleagues, what would it take to make a UW education truly accessible to everyone? We know there's a significant issue in this country around access to higher education and a national landscape that is challenging now because we think that they've been priced out of the market. And even if they haven't been and they don't understand the full context of how college education is paid for, it's a significant barrier now for students who think seriously about college education. And Jack's over here somewhere. I saw him earlier, and we've heard Jack on this, and I think we're going to bring you into the full shop talk here on this. But we have work to do here, and so I just want you to think about it in a couple contexts here. What does it really mean to have access? So I think of this in 2 ways, and I'm learning this from others, but I ask you to think with me. So first, there's affordability, right? And that's ensuring that every student has the resources they need to cover the full cost of attendance. And when I say that, a lot of times we talk about tuition as the only thing that our students care about in sort of the cost of their education, but the full cost of attendance is an entirely different dynamic, and that's tuition, which is pretty reasonable at a public institution for many families, not all, and then the full cost of attendance, which anyone who lives within the Puget Sound region knows the cost of attendance when you're at a university in Seattle, Washington, or Tacoma or Bothell has significant additional costs in terms of housing, food, affordability, transportation, all of those costs. So, of course, some students can afford the full cost of attendance. In fact, at our dinner last night, someone said, they've talked to parents who say, I wish I could pay more for my UW education because I'm extraordinarily privileged, and this is a public university that doesn't get enough tax dollars from the state of Washington, and I wish I could do more of my share for the cost of an education. And for most of our lowest income students, between the Husky Promise and state and federal aid, a large portion of their cost of attendance is also covered through resources that are available. But we have a large swath of students in the middle. The average household medium income for a family I think this is in Washington, I'm actually not sure about the context here, but the average income is $106,000 to $108,000 for a family of 4, as described as medium middle income. And if you think about a cost of attendance of $32,000 a year, that is a really significant jump, a significant challenge for families, the vast majority of whom are those trying to pursue a college education here and around the country. So that's a significant national issue, obviously. It's a significant issue for us, but it's not the only issue when you think about access. The other issue of access is once you're in a college education, once you're here at the University of Washington, how do we make a successful experience at the University of Washington? One where you have access to the full Husky experience. You all know we talk about the hidden curriculum, and Tricia mentioned this briefly in her remarks about coming as a first-generation student, when you don't even know what the possibilities are of a college education because you're learning about them literally on the fly or as you go because you don't have the kind of support behind you to tell you. There are paid internships available. You should seek your advisor and always be getting the guidance you need in terms of tutoring or experiential education, that you can do study abroad, that you can network and get internships so when you exit the university you have a pathway towards your career. We know from exit surveys with students that some students come out and they've had an awesome Husky experience. Other students come out and they've been working 2 jobs. They didn't know they could get paid internships. They missed the opportunity to apply. They didn't get the advice they needed from their advisors, so they struggled early on. Whatever, I'm making scenarios up here, but these are things we hear and see and know about our students. How do we ensure that every UW student understands and has access to the kind of personalized Husky experience that is available to them at a public university of our size and stature that does have those opportunities available at scale for most, if not all, of our students if they knew what they had access to in this very complex, large environment. So how do we do that? It's a question for our university. How do we ensure that happens? What are the resources required that philanthropy can support? How do we tell that story well through our communications? How do we engage with our alumni team around with stakeholders, with students entering the system as well as exiting, so they know when they leave they have career and networking opportunities available to them because they're part of the Husky family? The UW just celebrated the Husky 100. How many of you know what the Husky 100 is? Ooh, where's Tamitha? She's so happy to know how many people, there you are, that just raised their hand, yay. So those of you who don't know, the 5 of you that didn't raise your hand, this is a group of students selected every year, the Husky 100, who exemplify students who have taken advantage of the resources of the University of Washington and made the most of their Husky experience and understand and can communicate clearly how that relates to their career progression, their life goals, their sense of civic and life responsibility, how those students and their graduate and undergraduate students, how they can fully realize their experience. They are put up as exemplars every year so that other students can see this is the way you can take advantage of being here as a student. Many of them are in the description of students who may not have understood fully what the resources that were available to them. So it really is a way of amplifying that within our student community. I want to be clear in talking about this that I'm not talking just about undergraduate students, although we know, and particularly those of you who are directly fundraising, that often it's that experience of a person as an undergraduate that motivates them in their philanthropy, and there's a profound connection there. But in our walkabouts, I was reminded about what we do for graduate students as well in this regard. And okay, I'm going to have so much fun saying it. It used to be GOMAP, for those of you who know this, and now it's called GC, the Office of Graduate Student Equity and Excellence. I just love that name, GC is what we're calling this. And it's to help graduate students also learn how to thrive through professional development and coaching, funding, connections to scholarships and fellowships and research opportunities, designed to support climate and equity issues throughout the graduate student population, and outreach, recruitment, and community building for graduate students. Serves the whole graduate population. I share this today also because, we have some significant issues going on with our ASCs and others, and it's important to know that there's, again, in our advancement perspective here, we can do things as an advancement team to also help our institution and our graduate students have the kind of experience, the Husky experience, that we believe is important to them as students as they're pursuing their graduate education. So how do we communicate the value of crafting this Husky experience? How can we better share these options and support available to these students? That's where advancement, in partnership with our university leadership, has a big role to play. The provost will soon be leading the deans and CAOs in a conversation about affordability and access as the foundations of student success. And to have a comprehensive strategy, our core academic and student affairs unit, and again, Tamitha was back there raising her hand, but the team of the dean of students and others, that big team that works on student issues across the university, will need to work closely with our academic units on enrollment planning, which Tricia is giving a big push to here and through her role, but also through campaign planning, so we can ensure that the linkages between students in their unit and in their comprehensive experience at the university are connected and coordinated and streamlined. It's not entirely helpful when we award a scholarship to a student just for their freshman year. They have 3 years to go. It's not entirely helpful when we award scholarships only at the major level for their final 2 years as they struggle through their first 2. So how do we connect the dots here? How do we connect the dots so that there's earlier information as students are coming in about things that they have access to, both as graduate students and undergraduate students, in terms of programs and resources? That's the kind of planning we need to do as an institution if we want to truly be of service to our students, and it's not going to be easy. And it's not going to be just enrollment management and led through the deans and others. It's also going to require us to do our best thinking about how to resource that through philanthropy, how to tell those stories, how to do the kind of engagement work that will support students through both the journey that begins here and through their lifetimes. I know many of you will say, well, gosh, I'm just trying every day to raise money, or I'm just trying to do this, or I understand that. I know we're not all in this high-level strategic conversation, but I can tell you that every one of you has a voice that will be important to this conversation. You've all been students. You all work for this university. You love this university. You're part of this community. You have ideas. You have experiences. You have conversations you've been a part of that can help this. So in any case, welcome ideas. Share them with the leaders of your units, or lead your unit in a conversation that might think differently about how we put support behind our students as we walk toward the next campaign. Philanthropy, of course, is a wonderful source of this, and I want to tell a story today because I think it's so fitting in the space that we're in. So the Lawson Family Scholarship for tribal members. Barbara Lawson, a 1968 graduate who now works in the nonprofit sector, established a scholarship after reflecting on her family's work as missionaries, librarians, and Bureau of Indian Affairs agents with the Santee and Colville tribes of what are now Nebraska and, of course, our own state. With knowledge of the United States history of discrimination and violence toward indigenous people, she thought deeply about what she could do to address the challenges of indigenous people today. She created the scholarship, and she chose a scholarship to offer financial assistance to UW graduate and undergraduate students who are enrolled members of state or federally recognized Native American tribes. The fund received additional support on Husky Giving Day, and the first scholarship will be awarded in the fall of 2024. Yay. So please think about this with me. Think about this with all of your leadership, with Provost Serio. Try to think differently maybe, or in fun and new ways about how we do our work. And let's do something big and bold for students in the next campaign. Denzel Sweet said at our first campaign planning meeting with the deans and vice presidents, he said, why would the University of Washington not have as a campaign goal to make our university affordable and accessible to every student? Let's get there, team. This would be awesome. So I'm going to close with some gratitude for all of you. This has been the year when I've been doing my coffees and conversations around advancement. And I think I have a couple more to go. But they've been really, really incredible. And And my gratitude, it's so fitting that I get a moment here on this because we have our Star Awards coming here in a moment. And this is, of course, our celebration of our people in advancement. And in these coffee and conversations, this is where, and you didn't have to sign up if you didn't, don't worry, you didn't miss anything. They are small groups of, you did, but you'll catch up again. So, we convene small groups around the table, 12 to 15 people, and we just have conversation about what's on your mind, and I try to answer questions, and they're just a really wonderful forum. And they're a real treat for me. It's a breath in the middle of crazy days just to sit with all of you and hear your concerns and things that you're excited about. But what I want to share today is, and Samantha has been in many of them with me taking notes, and we've done some follow-up on various things. And when I said to Samantha, gosh, I'm really trying to reflect on these, on some of the key themes, and because I wanted to share this effectively. And I realized as I was talking, the thing that came out most clearly in these conversations is how much you care for one another and you care for this institution. And you had lots of questions, the campaign, various just topics that were really important and great, but the conversations, watching the engagement, hearing how you asked about different things about uplifting your own colleagues, your colleagues in your unit, the institution on the whole. We had some really deep conversations after October 7th and continue to have deep conversations in that regard. I mean, there was some incredible conversation. So what I want to say to all of you is, whoever you're sitting next to, wherever context you find yourself, whether you're brand new in advancement and you just stood up today and you're wondering what the heck is this, or if you are one of our folks who have been here and are the stalwarts and built this place in 25, 35, I don't know, who's been here the longest? Should I ask that question? Is that a legal question? I won't ask that question. Okay, so we have people who have been here for a long time, whoever you are. But everyone's shaking their head, who's like, no, Mary, don't go there. Okay. You have built something, you have built a community here in advancement that is extraordinary in the way it cares for our institution, the way you care for each other. We are in the relationship business, relationship, resources, and reputation, right? We are in the forever business. We know how to do this work in community, and each of you, in the way you are doing it and holding each other in the process, it is really, really extraordinary. So I wish you all could sit and see that from the vantage point that I do. So for that, I want to really thank you. It uplifts me, and I'm so grateful for it. And I just want to say to all of you, thank you. And today we get to celebrate a few of our exemplars, but it's in all of you. So thank you. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. So now, speaking of our great culture and our great people, I get to introduce Ray Lee. As you know, Ray, if you don't know, you're about to meet a celebrity up here. The winner of last year's Marilyn Bott Dunn Award, the highest award of our advancement program for exemplary work, service, love, care, all the things. And Ray, in that role, he gets to introduce this year's process. So, Ray Lee.
Dun, da-da-da. Hopefully this is working now. Is it working? All right. Everybody in the back can hear okay? Great. For those of you who are standing who want seats, there's still seats up at the front. Come on up. There's also seats along the side, so don't feel like you have to stand the whole time. Wow, thanks, Mary, and thanks, Tricia, and she just left. What a wonderful way to just spend the afternoon together, surrounded by community, caring, and kindness, so thank you very much for that. I'm thrilled to be here to talk about the 2024 Spring Star Awards and the Marilyn Bott Dunn Endowed Award for Excellence alongside of all of you today. So I had the pleasure of meeting many new folks earlier today. And so for those of you who are new or those of you who are just learning about these awards, I'm going to share a little bit about what this is. As many of you know, these awards are biannual peer-nominated awards and recognize advancement staff who excel in their work and exemplify our values. And our values are, starts with me, our best work is done together, and we create impact. Once the nominations are submitted, a committee of our former awardees work through and select the round of next recipients. For over 20 plus years, these awards have been the cornerstone of Advancement's recognition program. And in that time, we've improved our process. We love process here. So we've made it more inclusive and more equitable. Let's see. Some of the process improvements that we've made, number one, first we've introduced a rating rubric. Who doesn't love a rubric? To reduce bias in screening. Second, we select awardees to ensure balanced representation across the advancement pillars, which include development, UW Medicine Advancement, marketing and communications, alumni relations, and advancement operations. The latest process improvements, sounds like I'm building a car or something. The latest process improvements involves using an anti-bias tool to remove nominee names, resulting in shorter discussions for our final selections. So it's actually quite interesting when you're reading these. Of course, you don't want to just hear about process today, so let me move on. My fellow committee members are eager to share with you the handful of our colleagues that we've spent hours poring over and deciding on, and those who embody our UA values and demonstrate how we can be better together. As we announce each recipient, if you are in the room, holy smokes, how are you going to get up here? That's what I'm wondering. If you're in the room, please come up to the front to accept your award. We have Mary over here who's going to present you with the award, handshake, smile. Please stay standing up here as your fellow awardees all gather together. Before we tell you who the new honorees are, I want to thank the Spring Selection Committee. They include, is this going to show up? No. Lauren Capel, Greg Croak, E.C. Ogod, Kasaya Sisi, Aaron Schwartz, Meredith Jacobson, Kathy Riley, and myself. All right, well, let's get this party started, you guys. I'm going to call up to the stage the first person to make the announced star awardee, and that is Kathy Riley. If you want to come up here, and then we're going to kind of work our way through. So, Kathy Riley, come up here.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. So this first Star Award honoree builds cross-departmental teamwork within ASC and across university advancement. They exemplify our values by taking responsibility, collaborating thoughtfully with partners and stakeholders, and producing outcomes that have impact and meaning. This 2024 Star Awardee recipient is Carrie McDonald, Director of Marketing Communications. Great. And now I'd like to invite my committee colleague, Isai Agwood, up to announce our next honoree.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kathy. All right, ready? So our next honoree consistently and generously shares their time, insight, and experience with their colleagues. They lead with integrity, respect, and generosity, inspiring their team and others, colleagues included, to focus on excellent work and care for each other. They make sure that, quote unquote, our best work is done together on a daily basis. I'm really excited. This 2024 Star Award recipient is Jessica Neruzzi, College of Education. Now I would like to invite Aaron Schwartz, my colleague, to come up for the next awardee.
Hey, hi everyone. Are you ready? All right, let's see. Our next award honoree epitomizes UA's model of integrated advancement. Beyond his excellent work as a director for both international advancement and regional development, he is a consensus builder, a strategic thinker, and a trusted and active collaborator whose sense of teamwork leads him to build bridges and nurture relationships between otherwise disparate parts of the university and UA. This 2024 Star Award recipient is Isaiah Brookshire. I just want to say, Isaiah cannot be with us in person today, but I believe his team is FaceTiming him right now so that he's learning about his award in real time. Isaiah, we will make sure that you get your Star Award. And now I'd like to invite my fellow committee member, Lauren Capel, to announce our next honoree.
How y'all doing this afternoon? All right, thank you, Erin. Our next Star Awardee is on the forefront of AI within advancement, helping to find unexpected, more efficient, and ultimately more profound ways to realize the dreams of alumni and donors. They are a bright, constant star in the constellation of M-Ray. This 2024 Star Award recipient is Maya Sadeghi, Associate Director, Advancement Data Science, Advancement Operations, M-Ray team. Now I'd like to invite my fellow committee member, Greg Croak, to announce our next honoree.
Thank you, Lauren. Our next award honoree leads with humility, curiosity, integrity, excellence, and an eye towards innovation. She goes out of her way to ensure her colleagues feel supported and encouraged, while also providing space for everyone to shine. On top of that, she creates lasting impact for the neuro initiatives at UW-Medicine. This 2024 Star Award recipient is Jeannie Stuyvesant, Assistant Vice President for Development and Major Gifts at UW-Medicine Advancement. I'd like to invite my fellow committee member, Kasaya Sise, to the stage to announce our honoree.
Thank you, Greg. Our next honoree is the exemplar of UA values. They are bright, hardworking, and kind. In the spirit of our best work is done together, they convene a community of fellow fundraisers, offers training and insights to new and aspiring fundraisers, and brings people together with a sense of joy and humor in their work, something we all need more of. This 2024 Star Award goes to Tiffany Calverley, Assistant Director for Social Sciences, Colleges of Arts and Sciences. I'd like to invite my fellow committee member, Meredith Jacobson, to announce our final Star Award honoree.
Thanks, Kasaya. In a short time, this next star has made a significant impact on development communications at the UW. Whether working on a broad appeal, stewardship report, or a personal note, Their strategic, responsive, and relational approach fosters collaboration across numerous teams and elevates the quality and inclusiveness of their projects. The resulting work is noticed by colleagues across campus and our community of philanthropic supporters, which in turn advances the university. The star truly embodies the UA value of our best work is done together. And the final Spring 2024 Star Award goes to Sarah Wyan, Assistant Director for Advancement Communications in UMass. And I'd like to invite Ray back to the podium.
Wowzers. Do we need a photo? We got time for photo? Let's get the photo in. Photo. All right. Woo! I want to congratulate all of our Spring 2024 Star Award honorees: Carrie McDonald, Jessica Neruzzi, Isaiah Brookshire, Maya Sadeghi, Jeannie Stisovant, Tiffany Calvary, and Sarah Wyan. One more round of applause from everybody. All right, thank you. Oh, you guys can go now. Oh. Just kidding, you can stay if you want. That is so awesome. I love this. This is so great to see the energy and what you could strive for in your years here, that you're all going to stay here forever, working for the University of Washington, raising lots of money for years and years on end. You know it's a good cheering session when your watch tells you it's too loud. So you guys all did a really good job. Now moving on. It's my honor to present the Marilyn Bott Dunn Endowed Award for Excellence, or MBD for short. This year marks the 25th year of the Marilyn Bott Dunn Award. It was established in honor of Marilyn Bott Dunn, who was the Vice President for UW Development back in 1991 through 1999. The MBD recipient is selected annually by the Star Awards Selection Committee from the most recent pool of Advancement Star Award nominations. Our organizational and professional success is made possible by the collective efforts of all fundraising, Marcom, alumni relations, and operations team with whom we are so fortunate to work with. To every one of you, please know how important and appreciated your work is. Without everyone in the University Advancement team, there could be no MBD award. So for now, without further ado, this year's honoree, roll up, hold on a sec. Now, without further ado, this year's MBD honoree embodies the "we is greater than me" and practices this to perfection. She highlights others' wins and brings voices together for better outcomes. She approaches her work with an open mind and uplifts others. She hones her own skill set in order to elevate the work that she does on behalf of the university. Please join me in enthusiastic applause for this year's MBD honoree, Ann Fitzmaurice Adams, College of Engineering. And don't come anywhere. You got to come up here and you have to say a few words. Surprise! That's MBD. You got to say a few words.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm so mad at my husband for not telling me about this. That's my first thing. Wow. Oh, yeah. wow, I don't know where to start in front of this microphone, in front of all of you. So I think I'll just start by saying thank you. It's such an honor. This is such a special award. It makes me feel great. It makes me feel great to be part of this community. We talked about that earlier. But I want to thank those of you who nominated me, and I think I know who might have been behind some of those nominations, but I want to thank all of you who I've worked with for a long time. Yes, Mary, I am one of those. And all of those that I will work with in the future, because this award really does mean something to me, and I know it means something to all of you, the values behind it. So thank you so much for this award.
All right, nothing more nervous than like coming up and having to speak in front of a bunch of people without being told that you're going to be doing that. So, all the names of the honorees will be posted on our UA website on our intranet soon. Before we switch to the next presenter, let's give Ann Fitzmaurice Adams one more round of applause. We've retired the cape. Apparently it smells really bad, and the crown as well, so I didn't even get to use it. So, before we wrap today, I want to invite another individual to the stage, Mr. Paul Rucker. Apparently he has some shenanigans to present with you, so come on up here, Paul.
Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Ray. I'm not sure about shenanigans, but what an inspiring room. It is so wonderful to see all of you. And this focus on students and centering students here within Shop Talk and university advancement and everything we do at UW, it is so inspiring. I wanted to just take a moment and draw your attention to the next couple of weeks. As we drive towards commencement, 10,000 students will be coming to the university bookstore to pick up their cap and gown, 5,000 of whom will be new members to the Alumni Association. And in that bookstore, in those 5 days, thousands of students graduating and their families, picking up their cap and gown, the joy and the inspiration of their accomplishments. It is just fantastic. Trevor Peterson, the CEO of the bookstore, is here today. Trevor, I saw you earlier. Thank you for your support. Everyone, the University Bookstore. The University Bookstore, 120 years old, founded by students, still governed by students, does so much for our community. They are laureate donors to students in the campaign last time. They play such an important role in our community. So for the shenanigans, the bookstore wanted to give something to all of you. So 4 of you have the lucky golden ticket underneath your seat. So take a look. If you've got the golden ticket, it says, "I love UW." We have got gift baskets in the front, so the 4 of you come on down and pick up your UW Sway gift baskets. There we go. Wave them high. There we go. Grab a gift basket. That also includes 2 football tickets for the home opener for each of you. Thank you, University Bookstore. Thank you, everyone. If you've got the golden ticket, come on down. Ben, all the way from Utah. Ben got the golden ticket. Thank you, everyone. See me afterwards to make sure I get your names for your football tickets. Great to have you all today. I'm going to turn it back to Mary Gresh to bring us home.
Okay. Before we close, I want to say something very special. Melissa Kreptel. Well, the sense of belonging that you all feel at this event is in large part to the hard work of that woman over there who's hiding because she didn't want me to do this, But I hope that you will say something to her about how much you have deeply, deeply appreciated her work on behalf of University Advancement since 2017. Hope you all read my note about Melissa, who's transitioning to the president's office right below. We're so happy about that, on the 3rd floor of GERB instead of the 4th. So we're looking forward to continuing to see Melissa every day. But Melissa, thank you on behalf of all of us. Okay, and with that, we have more refreshments outside, as I understand it. It's a beautiful day. Enjoy time with your colleagues. We'll see you soon.